Welcome to the Lifted Lifestyle Podcast. This is a call to action to live above limitations that try to disrupt your peace, steal your joy, and limit your access to your best life. I'm Latasha Weatherspoon, the Chief Empowerment Officer of the Lifted Lifestyle and your favorite host, joined today by my favorite host, Chaz Bailey, or as he calls himself, the creator of opportunity.
Hello, everyone. This is Chaz Bailey. I'm Creative Opportunities that you just heard, COO. You can find me online at the Creative Opportunities on Instagram and Twitter at Chaz Bailey. Hope everything's going well as it is for me today.
I always forget to give you guys my social media handles. I am at Tasha Spoon on all social media channels and at Love the Lifted, which is the Lifted Lifestyles official Instagram on Instagram.com. Chaz, what are you grateful for today?
Today I'm grateful for just life in general. It's a lot going on in this world, so sometimes you have to step back and just say, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I have another day. I started a new practice in the morning where more, as we talked and we spoke about our affirmations, going a little deeper and just speaking about not only my particular affirmations, but telling myself what I'm grateful for, starting as opening my eyes that particular day. So definitely grateful for that this morning, and looking forward to continue to be grateful in my journey. So that's what it is this week, being grateful.
Awesome. Well, this week I am grateful for the committee over at the Black and Natural Pageant Association and Miss Day Edwards. This weekend I was fortunate enough to be named their Trailblazer of the Year.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
That was great.
And it was an absolutely great evening of just fellowship and networking and honoring some of Houston's power players, and I was honored to be named one of them. I'm truly grateful that someone takes notice of everything that I try to put out into the world. Yeah. When you're someone that actually gives out the awards, you always feel like, wow, me, when someone gives you an award. So I'm definitely grateful for that this week.
Well, that's a good thing, and it was an amazing event. And definitely congratulations once again on being a Trailblazer of the Year. That's not a light honor. So whoever comes next year definitely have to step their game up, and hopefully you raise it above that and, be a two-time winner. So congratulations on that.
Wow, thank you. Okay, so this week is part 2 of our... Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty there. This week is our part 2 of our Find Your Tribe series. We've been going through my book, Find Your Tribe and Break Bread, and discussing all the things you need to do in order to find yourself and then find your circle of influence. Finding people that reflect your core values. So this week we're going to continue that work, and we're going to talk about what you need to do to develop a tribe.
Yeah.
What do you need to do to continue the building process? One of the first things that I want to talk about, which is one that is often taken for granted, is just opening yourself up to making new connections. Just opening yourself up to attracting people in your life. I think sometimes we are closed off to making new connections because of things that have happened to us in our connections in the past.
Yeah, and that stems from who you are individually, because to make any type of connection, you attract what you put out in the world. As you hear often nowadays, that whatever energy you send off, that's what energy you receive. So today we would like to say, being a good person, and you attract good people. So that allows the connections that you make to be genuinely good. So I think that is highly important, because if you're not a good person, in terms, you won't attract good people. So to be your best self, I always say, definitely be your best self, and you will get the best that others have to offer. And I think that's the perfect start for that.
Yeah, so that brings us to our first topic of conversation, which is be a good person and you will attract good people.
Yes.
I think that we take for granted just the simplicity of going out into the world as a good person, making sure that you're putting good vibes out into the world and that you are projecting the things that you would like to attract in your tribe. You know, too often we are hypocritical and what we want from the people in our lives and what we're giving off.
Yeah, definitely. And that's easy to do. And sometimes we have to reflect on who we are. And most of all, as one of our themes on the show here, we speak about being selfish is not as bad as we make it seem. So in this sense, be selfish. Know what you want out of life. What are your goals? What are you aspiring to be? And see that in the people that are around you, and be the person you want to be, and those type of people will be around you. You can be around people who uplift you. You can be around people who achieve goals, not necessarily saying the same goal that you have in mind, but genuine connections that allow you to connect to that next realm of your life.
And just, you know, to take that a little bit further and a little bit more interpersonal, is just making sure that you are honestly kind. You know, making sure that you are patient with people, making sure that you are giving as much as you're taking, you know, making sure that you are being the person or the friend that you would want in your tribe, you know, just existing within yourself as a good person. I think that sometimes we don't even think about whether or not we're operating in a good manner or in the manner that is the most representative of the best person, of us being the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, I think we have to do the forward work of being critical with ourselves and saying, okay, was I kind to the person at the Starbucks line when they took forever to make my caramel macchiato?
Yeah.
You know, like,
exactly.
Was I snappy to the person in traffic?
Exactly.
You know, just doing the work at really trying to be a good person at your core, you know? But that goes back to establishing your core values as well and making sure you're living them even in the smallest of instances.
Yeah, you definitely have to do so, because a lot of times being nice and being kind are seen as the same when they're not. Being kind to me is going above and beyond. Being nice is just doing a gesture, but being kind is something that comes from within. And so having that heart of being, as the stories we hear, Good Samaritan, etc., being that kind person, extending your hand, being someone that's on the outside sees and says, you know what, I'm going to make my day better just because this person did this. And it's contagious. A lot of people don't realize it, but actions are contagious at any age. So being kind is definitely one that we can use in forming a tribe, and also making the world better with people that just look around us that we don't even have any direct connection to.
That's true. That's true. And I like how you put that the difference in being nice and being kind, because kindness is really going the extra mile.
Yes.
But we often take for granted how small acts of kindness can really shape someone's life.
Yes.
So being a person who really tries to implement small acts of kindness into the world really changes it in a way. I'll never forget this lady one morning. I was rushing to work. I was a little bit frustrated, and I was at Starbucks, and I get to the drive-through, and the person in the car ahead of me had paid for my coffee. And immediately my energy changed.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's so nice. You know, they didn't have to do that. And it was just that small act of kindness that was enough to shift my energy and get me back on track.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's easy to do. Here in Houston, we have, of course, a large population. It's a big city. And unfortunately, we have a large population of homeless people. And so, you know, piggybacking off of your story, it was a time just the other day, coming home from work. And I stop at the same area, and I occasionally see one or two guys, the same guys every now and then. And I just stopped and I said, you know what, I don't have nothing to give you, but how's your day going, man? And we sat there during the light and had a conversation. And through that conversation, he told me that it made his day that somebody just talked to him.
Wow.
And it made mine, because while sitting in traffic, I'm not just frustrated. I'm having a decent conversation with someone, about the world, about the weather, about Houston. So I thought that was good, because sometimes we always look at giving as monetary or materialistic. And kindness, as we say, is above and beyond, and it comes from within, and you can't put
and
a
it's
price
free
on it.
and
Exactly.
it's free. I think that's absolutely amazing, because he probably felt seen for the first time in a long time. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you never know.
Wow. So in addition to being a good person, I want people to really, I think a lot of time the narrative now is who you're connected to. Who's in your circle. But I think that we have to be as conscious of who we are as we are of who we are connected to.
Yeah.
We have to focus more on being a good person than who we're connected to.
Yeah.
That's in life, that's in business, that's in networking. In every area, you have to focus on what you're bringing, what energy you're putting out into the world, as much as you are focused on what you would like to receive or who you would like to be connected to.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It goes back to bringing something to the table, because that immediately takes me to how we're in the age of social media, and you form these connection networks because you have your agenda, but maybe it is to get in a certain school, maybe it's a certain job or role or more exposure, and we're just outsider trying to get connected with this group of amazing people. But sometimes it comes down to what you bring to the table, and we have to reverse that. We have to look at ourselves and look at our tribe and say, okay, what are they bringing to the table? As we discussed last week, what do I do for you, and what do you do for me, and how do we succeed in doing what we do? And so I think that is definitely a strong point, because the connection is not necessarily always what we look to gain, but what are we giving? And is this connection solid, or can it be broken easily?
That kind of segue into our second point, which is reciprocity is the root of good friendship.
Yeah.
Reciprocity is the root of good friendship. Having a good give and take exchange of energy, of time, of resources in your relationships and your friendships is important. I think that a lot of times, we hear people, especially like in church, they'll say don't be unequally yoked, but even in friendship, don't be tied to people who are not willing to pour into you, who are not willing to invest their time and energy into you, who are not at a basic level willing to do the things that you are doing for them.
Yeah, it's always a two-way street. It's always a two-way street, no matter what you do. And it's based on who you are and who they are. And once you get down to it, it's not necessarily saying whatever I give, I need to get the exact same back in return, because you can't. I don't believe you can be a strong team that way, because you're just doing one thing. Maybe I'm in a position, let's say I'm in a wealth position, so I have the wealth, but my best friend has the knowledge. So I don't mind paying for the venues. I don't mind paying for, the gas and the trips, but you're teaching me wealth as well. So it's like you said, it's reciprocity. Whatever I give, I'm receiving, but not the exact same thing. So that's a key point to remember. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but you're getting something that you deem as valuable as well.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not entering into relationships based on what you can get.
Oh, no.
Always going to a situation, a relationship, a friendship with the idea of what can I give? How can I serve? But all the while honoring and acknowledging whether you're the only person pouring.
Exactly.
You have to be both an empty cup and a empty cup and a vessel. You have to be willing to pour and to receive, but you also have to be around people who are willing to pour and to receive.
Exactly.
Exactly. I think that a lot of times we allow ourselves to be in one-sided friendships for long times because we don't want to cut someone off after we've been friends for so long, but that person doesn't add value to our life. And if we're completely honest, they probably take from our life.
Yeah, and that's one of the keys where we realize over, hardships that may come in life, that time is not necessarily value. because in that instance we had this person or these people around for X amount of time. We associate value with that as far as our friendship goes. But what are you pouring into me, and what am I pouring into you? And let's win together. It's about winning together.
And speaking of winning together, we have our Facebook followers watching along. I see Treyana Cole watching and Carla B Song logged on.
Hey.
Thank you guys for being here with us at the Lifted Lifestyle Podcast. Remember to go over to the Lifted Lifestyle website and subscribe on your platform of choice.
Yes.
You can find us everywhere: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, and just about anywhere that podcasts are available.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely check us out there. We'll be happy to hear feedback. So definitely give feedback. Give us rating. What you like, what you don't like. Let us know, because that's the only way we can grow. And as we're talking about reciprocity, we want to live it, so we can win in this together. So that's what we want to do.
Agreed. So I wanted to take a moment and say thank you for being here with us today. Although we got to say goodbye.
Yeah, that is right about this time. I didn't even know. I'm all into the subject and everything, but don't be alarmed. Just hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform, and you'll catch the rest of it. So we definitely thank you for viewing in this space. And
it will be available tomorrow on the liftedlifestyle.com as well as YouTube. So catch us tomorrow,
so
Facebook.
If you want to see that video, we'll be there still smiling and talking about it. So we're here.
All right. See you guys soon.
Take care.
Okay, to get right back into the conversation, I wanted to kind of address forgiveness in friendships.
Okay.
And how, a lot of times when we're building our tribe, we want it to be easy. We want it to be perfect. We don't want to recognize our part in it, as well as the part that people play. Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in that subject area is a lot of people say they are having trouble building a tribe. They're having trouble making connections. They're having trouble making friends. Yeah. But because they're being judged on sight. I've had a lot of people say, well, people just don't like me, or I just can't make friends. And I hear it a lot with women. I just can't get along with other women. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to pose the question today. And it's just pose the question. Go with me for a second. But a lot of us that have felt judged have to honor the fact that at one time or another, we've done the judging.
Yeah.
At one point or another, we've judged someone on sight.
And that's how we're able to recognize it.
Exactly. So
we lived it.
Exactly. But you have to honor that first, forgive yourself, and then be able to forgive the people that judged you. Because a lot of times when we judge people, especially before we know them, just by seeing them when they walk into a room, it's because that person in some way, shape, or form has exposed an insecurity. Yeah. And that's also true with how we do it to other people, is exposing insecurities. So an easy way that I found to do that is if I find someone, if I'm in a room and this person is just looking at me and not really, connecting with me, but just kind of looking at me, I'll walk over and say hello. Break the ice. Yeah. Open yourself up to making new connections, even in seasons where it is not necessarily comfortable.
No, that's a good idea.
That's
a really good idea.
Open yourself up to making connections, even with the most difficult person in the room. Because a lot of times, the most difficult person in the room is often the person that's the most like you in the room. Yeah.
That's true.
True. You think about two magnets, I'm going to take y'all back to science in high school. You have the two magnets and they're the same frequency and they repel one another. Yeah. Walk over and say hello. Break the ice. Open yourself up to making new connections in every single setting.
No, that's true, because while you're speaking, I'm thinking about times where I've done it, just being perfectly honest. I'm going back to grade school, but I remember just walking in classrooms and you'll say, I don't like this person. Haven't heard their voice or nothing. I just don't like the way they look. but you never say anything to them. And I think breaking the ice lets you know who this person really is, or you get a feel for them, because you're doing yourself an injustice as well as them. And they could be the greatest person. They could be the number one person in your tribe. So I definitely understand that. But what I was going to say as well is that when you don't speak, I was thinking it allows the mind to kind of play tricks on you, because that's when those assumptions take over. When you start reflecting on someone else that was in your past, or a situation that this person reminds you of, or that person has a similar outfit, so you connect that instance to this person when they may not be that at all. But as long as you don't say anything, you allow powers of negativity to take over your mind, and you automatically assume, and now you're causing pain on yourself when you're not really noticing it.
And to take assumptions one step further, a lot of times we won't align ourselves or connect with people based on what other people have said about that person.
Yeah.
My challenge would be to go out of the way to get to know people for yourself, because the chemistry and connectivity that you may have with a person may be totally different than the person who told you that this person you might want to stay away from. Mm-hmm. Just get to know the person for yourself. Open yourself up to making a connection and seeing if people reflect your core values.
That's true.
If they don't, cut ties. But the only way to know is to open yourself up to the possibility of connection.
And, while listening to you say that, I immediately went to a place of doing a pool. So if you think about your life in general and all the people you met over your life, and I know that you have a strong tribe. So you have many acquaintances, friends, etc. And so this is a pool of a lot of people, but only a few people made the cut. So you wouldn't have never knew if you didn't break that ice and speak to them and have situations with them to form the best tribe for you.
Yeah,
and
I
so
agree.
I think that's something we have to do as well, because by limiting ourselves from these people, we don't know what to look for sometimes. Because if I say I have no friends and I just try to pick a needle out of a haystack, what's the chances?
Yeah. So, and I mean, I've been the person who people are like, oh man, I don't know. When I first met you, I wasn't sure if I was going to like you until I talked to you. But when you get to the core of it, it's because maybe there was something going on that exposed an insecurity, or wow, I just didn't know if we would fit. And oftentimes those are the people who I'm the most alike.
Exactly.
Those are the people.
They have that.
You see something in
something
yourself,
about being a human that has a competitive edge. So, you think about, like me going back to grade school, you're sitting in class and let's say you're a star student, and this person reflects everything that you reflect on being a star student. And now that competitive nature kicks in, and you be like, no, I'm always the best. I don't like him. But then later on in the semester or in the class, you learn you need a partner. And wouldn't that be the Justice
best partner?
League or the X-Men group? Like, wouldn't that be the greatest group to be tied with that person instead of being against them? So then we can dominate this entire class together. Whether you get a 97, I get a 98, it's all good because we dominated. Together.
I 100%
and that's I think the purpose of the tribe is to dominate life together.
Wow.
Like, that's the purpose of a tribe, is you form your team and we're going to dominate this game called life together. You're great at this, I'm great at this. We all intimidate each other in certain points, but the reciprocity we have allows us to pour into that and fill our insecurities with love and friendship that makes the tribe bind stronger than anything.
Okay, that is one. Wow, I like that. We can be the Justice League of life.
Yeah,
we can be the
life.
Powerhouse.
Exactly.
Team of life. I really like that. And after you've done the work to kind of develop your tribe, you've opened yourself up to making new connections. You've surveyed your circle. You've went out of your way to connect with people. You have made peace with people that couldn't come. you have to also maintain your tribe once you've built this tribe. You know, one of the biggest things that I find happens is as life goes on, we have a hard time adjusting to the changes that happen in life.
Yeah.
You know, and so that brings me to my next point. Life happens, adjust. You know, I think about my friend Jocelyn when I think about this. Jocelyn and I, and if you went to Southern University and you knew us in college, you knew that we were almost joined at the hip. We were always together, even into adulthood. We talked every day. We were really, really, really connected. And then, you know, she got married. Then, okay, there was a little bit of drifting there. Because, you know, when someone gets married, you have to have the newlywed stage and you got to give them a little bit of space. But we would talk when we could. And then she had a baby. And then, you know, my niece, hey, Giselle. And I was like, wow. I was like, I don't get to talk to her very much. You know, I miss her. And that could have been very easily a place where I was like, you know what, she just doesn't have time for me anymore. You know, I haven't talked to her, you know, in weeks because she just doesn't have time anymore. But instead of allowing that space into our relationship, I got proactive. I started calling her at night when I knew the baby was up, but she needed some adult conversation.
Yeah.
And most other people weren't up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I answered the phone for her at 2 a.m. because I wanted to talk to my friend.
Yeah.
I had to make an adjustment for her because she had a new baby. Fast forward a few years later, my career is crazy. I'm traveling. I'm doing speaking engagements. I'm busy. Now she's got 2 babies, and we got to kind of talk when we can.
Yeah.
You know? So now, instead of me adjusting, it was her adjusting. Her carving out time when I'm home and I'm not traveling to talk to me and to be available because I have some downtime. Life happens in your relationships. You have to be willing to adjust in order to foster and save the connection of your tribe.
No, you definitely have. I think that's an amazing example of it. And on the other side of it, what I heard is what are the issues when life happens and we don't adjust? I think the main thing in hearing your story with Jocelyn is you kept communication alive.
Yeah.
Similar like we just spoke about when I used the classroom example and you said break the ice. You still have to break the ice with your tribe because life happens. And so you broke the ice at 10, 11 at night when the baby's up and she has no one to speak to. So I think that is amazing because the number one thing in all of what we spoke about today is communication and communicating to understand that life happens. If I go into this new season of my life and my best friend is slowly getting distance from me, I reach out. I'm like, hey, how's everything going? I know you're busy, this, that, and the third. I just want to let you know I'm still rooting for you. And, me being a sports guy, I immediately go to LeBron James and D Wade. They best friends in the league, and they're on separate teams at one point. And now they're on separate teams. You see the first person that tweet is him. He probably can't pick up the phone because he has his own practices now. He has his own families now, and they're in different cities. But the first person to tweet is me, So when you go back and look through your feed, I'm still there shouting. I'm still there like, that's my boy. And that's what we have to do to keep those connections solid, because sometimes the connection is not as strong as it was, but that doesn't mean the connection isn't there. So we have to adjust and say, okay, it's not coming in so strong on that side, so I'm going to put a little extra on my side so nothing ever falters.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's about doing the work, not waiting for the other person in the friendship or relationship to do the work.
Yeah.
If the relationship is important to you, then you do the work.
Yeah, and I think it comes on both, like we said earlier, reciprocity.
But if you're doing the work and this person is truly your tribe member and truly invested in fostering that connection, they're going to see you doing the work, and they're going to probably do the work too.
Exactly.
If they don't, that's another conversation.
Exactly.
But you have to honor the fact that you are responsible for your connections.
Yeah, and like I said, with what piggybacking is just keep that communication open, even if it's more coming from your side, and understand the situation where they're going through. Because if I just got married, or I just had a baby or so, then we speak about that and you make adjustments to your expectations on how we hang out, how we do this, that, and the third. But also don't leave, and so being there,
Don't walk away.
Yeah, don't walk away. Make those positive adjustments because, as I said earlier, because your tribe together helps you win at life and you need them. And sometimes, you have to pour more in one side than comes in the other. But at the end of the day, when it all adds up, it's balance. Maybe this year I poured 3/4 into you and you poured 1/4. But next year you poured 3/4 and I poured 1/4. We still at 2 cups.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So we're balanced. So definitely, I think that's a great point to keep being adjusted.
And so our call to action for this week is I want you to reach out to someone who you felt like you have lost connection with. A friend in your tribe that is valuable and meaningful to you, but there's just a little bit of space between you guys because life has happened. I want you to take the initiative and the action to reach out to that person, just to call and say hello, how you're doing, what you've been up to.
Yeah, definitely.
Show the person that you value them, that they're important to you, even if you guys don't talk every day.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great action. I'm gonna get started myself.
Yeah. And honestly, we all have to do that.
Yeah,
because it's not that people don't mean anything to us, but in the daily grind of going through life, sometimes, friendships that are valuable to us slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
But my challenge is for you to be the glue.
Yeah,
be the glue that brings it back together.
Yeah, definitely.
That's our call to action for this week. Chaz, what is our good news story?
All right, our good news story this week comes locally out of Pearland.
Oh, wow.
Actually, it was dealing with a mother. Kids were in meltdown, as the article saying. Woman steps in to be guardian angel. Kind of as we spoke in today, is be the person who you want to attract. And what you went through, you can help someone that may go through it. So this lady was in Target with her 2 children. She had one that was infant and one was 2 years old. And the 2-year-old started having a tantrum. And so as soon as that happened, the infant started as well. So now the lady said, okay, it's time to leave Target. Immediately, this other lady stepped in and grabbed the 2-year-old's hand and calmed him down and said, no, you're fine. We'll go through the store together and get everything you need and everything will be okay. And just that small act of kindness, this lady walked through the store while the children became calm and allowed that mother to basically come at ease. And now they formed a bond. And I believe in Pearland, they have a Pearland Moms Club or something. And it was like the spark of it. But that's what it's for. That's what life is for, is when you've been through something and just to walk past someone that's going through something that you've been through. It's not just your story, as you say. So I think
awesome.
That's an awesome thing that took place.
I actually saw this story on Facebook, and I think it's absolutely amazing, and that's exactly right. Your story is not just your story. Your experiences are not just your own, because I'm sure that lady who stopped and saw this mother in distress has been a mother in distress.
No, and that's where it comes from, because she said, I was actually in a store with her children and she felt helpless and not know what to do. So she stepped in because she was able to get through that.
Now that's an act of kindness for you. That is definitely some good news. Kudos to the lady who went out of her way to be the light in the world. Thank you for spreading good into the world.
Definitely.
I just want to reinforce that if you have not read the book Find Your Tribe and Break Bread, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word that it's a good book. Go on Amazon, read the reviews, Google, read the reviews, Goodreads, read the reviews, and see what other people are saying about the book, and then check it out for yourself. I know we talked the last couple of weeks about a lot of the content as we approach the anniversary of publication on April the 8th, but we didn't cover everything that's in the book. book, and this is an interactive guide, so there is some worksheets. So get a copy of the book and go through it for yourself, and then give us some feedback. I'm always willing to grow with you.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to know what you thought, and I want to experience this journey with you.
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking forward to hear from you with that. And you can definitely purchase a copy on Amazon or anywhere books are sold. And you can purchase directly at theliftedlifestyle.com. And if you do it there, you get an autographed copy from Latasha herself. So definitely check it out, everybody.
And thank you for joining the Lifted Lifestyle podcast every Wednesday as we record. The new episode will be uploaded on tomorrow. I also want to give a shout out to Hippie Chic Joy Jewelry. They provided these amazing earrings that I have on tonight. So I feel beautiful in them. So definitely find them on Facebook and Instagram. And while you're there, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Tasha Spoon on all social media platforms, and at Love the Lifted, which is the official Lifted Lifestyle platforms, and Mr. Bailey.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram now. I'm going on a week, so you find me at the Creative Opportunities and at Chaz Bailey on Twitter. So as we said, thank you for joining us this week, and hope to see you soon, and hopefully we'll get some of the reviews. And don't forget to like and subscribe everything we do, and give us feedback.
And as you go out into the world this week, make it the best week of your life, and remember to live lifted.
Thank you.